Nils, brilliant video you sent me, really good progress what you've done with your hips there. I can see exactly your problem. You're definitely hitting far too much on the outside at the moment. Very common mistake when people start calming their hips down there like you've done. So obviously in the first video now, as we saw you swinging your hips far too much, turning them far too much was getting you in this kind of blocked impact position. What we're seeing now is you're turning your hips a lot less, which is brilliant. You've done really well with that, but you've also stopped turning your shoulders. So in an effort to turn your hips less, you've just stopped turning your shoulders as well. And what this is creating is this kind of picking up backswing. So as you try not to turn your lower half, you stop turning your upper half, and all that happens is you get to about here, you get stuck. There's nowhere for the club to go because you're not turning your shoulders back. So what happens is you just start picking the club up. You get in this laid off position that we see in your video, and then we see the massive over the top downswing as a result of that. So you need to keep the hips doing what they're doing. Done really well with that, but you need to start getting your shoulders to turn. So what I mean by this is you try and keep your hips restricted like you're doing. You've got to try and at the same time get your upper body turning behind the ball. So really start feeling like your head starts to turn a little bit away from your target as your hips stay close, and that you feel that your shoulders are turning back more, so behind you. What this will allow you to do, as long as you keep the hips out of it, it'll allow you to get a bit more on plane with your swing rather than this kind of laid off position that we're seeing at the top of your backswing. So we need to start thinking about hips quite like you're doing, getting your shoulders to turn behind the ball so you can start seeing the club get behind you a little bit more and up to target at the top of your backswing. The other thing I want you to practice as well as you're doing this is I want you to have a bit more club face control. What you're doing at the moment as you make your backswing is you're what we call opening the face. So you're turning the face this way on the way back. We see that at the top of your backswing where we get the laid off position and this heavy cut left wrist with your left arm. As you're making your turn now, so restricting the hips, turning the shoulders and feel like you're turning behind the ball, I want you to feel that you're moving the club face more down to the ground, so in a more of a closed position almost. What this will do, if you can do that with your wrists, you start flattening it with your left arm, is just going to encourage you more to attack from the inside, because if that club face is working square to even slightly closed, then it will make sense to want to hit out to the right. It will make sense to want to hit from the inside, which will give you this more desirable kind of drawing shot. So 2 more things to work on. So you've got 3 thoughts now. This is something for the range. You wouldn't want to take this on the course because it's a lot to think about. What you've done with your hips is great. Keep the hips restricted. Keep that hip turn down to around 30 to 40 degrees rather than before your big 60 to 70 degree hip turn. But I want you to feel that you're turning your shoulders more as you keep your lower half quiet. And I want you to feel that you're flattening your left wrist on the backswing. So your left wrist with your left arm. So when you get to the top of your backswing, your left wrist and your left arm are almost flat together, no cupping. So get rid of that open face as well. And that will encourage you to get on plane on the downswing and start hitting through the ball to get a more desirable shot. Give that a practice, Nils. Let me know how you get on. Just send me another video when you get a chance, once you've given that a bit of work and a bit of thought. But keep it going. Really impressed what you've done with your hips.